Peace. There's a quote by George Bernard Shaw that says, "The reasonable man adapts himself to the world. The unreasonable one persists on making the world adapt to himself." That might be paraphrased. Therefore, all progress depends on the unreasonable man. Throughout my life, I feel like sometimes I don't know if I'm the reasonable man or the unreasonable man. I think I've always been a little bit of both because I understand reason and I can learn from how things are. But there's always another way. There's always a new way that comes to me. And sometimes it's frustrating. For real. It's almost like my whole life, the only thing I've really been consistent at is being inconsistent. And then the more you look at it, it's like over time you'll realize that I've consistently been myself. And I've consistently been growing and collecting information. But in small periods of time, it looks like he's kind of inconsistent. Or even over time, you might look at him and be like, he's inconsistent, he's all over the place. But then when you really look at the path, the journey, it's like there's been a consistent direction. It took me a long time to realize that, 30-something years to even be able to look at myself and say, I've actually been on the same journey the whole time. I finally realized that. I used to always think I was in different places, on different side quests. Every quest was a different game. Like if you playing video games, right? I felt like I played a fighting game sometimes. I played a driving game sometimes. I played an adventure game sometimes. But come to find out, it's all been the same game. It's all been one long adventure game with all different parts to it that's been guiding me to the same place the whole time. And the thing that makes me the unreasonable man is that, the thing that makes me the reasonable man is that I'm always able to find somewhere to fit in. I'm always able to get a job that I can serve well in, that can serve me well. I'm always able to find a place to live where I could be an asset to my environment, right? But the unreasonable part about me is that when I'm in that job, I'm learning how the business works and I'm always innovating, doing things a different way. And it just makes sense to me. Sometimes I know like there will be a rule or something. And it's like, I don't look to break rules, but if what makes sense to me is against the rules, I'm gonna do it. For real. Cause I know it made sense. And I've never actually gotten in trouble for that. It's like the people around me, my supervisors and managers and stuff, always find out that I broke a rule. But when they find out about it, they don't never really like come down on me about it because they find out what happened. They find out the whole situation and it's like, I see how that was against the rule, but I also see how that was the right thing to do in that situation. Like a lot of times rules are there to keep order and they're not. Some people say rules are made to be broken. I think those are the unreasonable people. These are the leaders, the innovators who come around and stretch and bend and break the rules because rules are made to keep order. And some people would operate completely wrong without rules. They wouldn't know how to move forward without guidelines to keep them in order. Then there's other people who the guidelines show you a place to start and they help keep you in order too. But because of how you think and who you are, you're bound to break a rule. It's like you're the reason why companies move forward. You know what I mean? You're the reason why groups move forward. Because if you only stay within the rules, within the box forever, you never change. You never move forward. And change is constant and necessary. Adapt, adapt. The only way to live is to keep learning and grow. Right? So there's always somebody who's going to break a rule. But there's people who break rules and get in trouble for them because it the reason for them breaking the rule is not important enough for the rule to be broken. And then there's people who break rules and don't get in trouble for them because in retrospect, even to management and supervisors and leadership, it was the best thing to do. It was like almost like the way that you did the thing would make them wonder why that was a rule in the first place until they look at another person again and be like, that's why that's a rule. Cause they can't go and do what they did. They can't go and do what you did. It wouldn't have went right. They wouldn't even have advised you to do what you did. But because you just did it as an innovator, as an unreasonable person, it's okay. I lost a bit of my voice this weekend at the conclave, hopping and chatting and shopping and singing and barking with the bros. But yeah, it can be frustrating to be a change agent, to be one of the people who you don't know how not to speak in a way that's made to uplift people, but a lot of the people in either the people or the people in the times, they not really wanting to hear that at the time. You know what I mean? People want to be entertained. And they come around you and you just speaking like you trying to teach. But it's the thing is you're not trying to teach. You just don't even know how else to think. There's no other way for you to think. Like that's the way you think, the stuff you think about when you hear what you hear. You know what I mean? A lot of times people don't want to hear it because they want to be entertained. Sometimes people don't want to hear it because they in a box right now. And what what you share with them is slightly outside their box. It stretches their limitations. It expands their mind a little bit, but they're not there yet. You're speaking their future to them, and they're not there yet, and they don't even see that yet. So people often will not want to accept what you're saying or not understand what you're saying, even rebel against you and what you're saying because it's not where they are. But eventually they'll get it. And you end up having to be one of the type of people though who people get it, but they don't come back to you to say they get it. So if it was up to others, you would just always be wrong and think you wrong. Because when they first hear it from you, you wrong to them. And they ain't trying to hear that. But then when they finally realize you right, they don't let you know that. So if you didn't know you was right in the first place, you might have thought you was wrong because you're the unreasonable person. The way the quote describes it, it would be like you trying to make people adapt to you, but it's not trying to make people adapt to you. It's being who you are and not allowing anybody to try to change who you are. It's like they either gonna get it or they not, but you can only be yourself. Feel me? Like we can't be nobody else. We can try as hard as we want, but we can't. So the more true to you are, the more you'll just accept that you're an unreasonable person and your timing is uncanny for most of the world. You know what I mean? You just be ahead of people. You'll never be wrong. You just be early. You're so early that everybody think you're wrong. And they ain't never come and tell you, but it's okay. Because you bring progress. All progress depends on the unreasonable man. The unreasonable one. The unreasonable person. The one who people might laugh like, how do you even think like that? Or the people might shake their head like, what is wrong with you? Why do you even think like that? You know why? Because they just don't get it yet. They not there. And that's not you not where they are either. That's the frustrating part. They might be better off at times or look better off at times in the world. And it's like, why can't I get right? Or why can't I get there? because you still on your journey. You know what I mean? You still changing and growing. When you feel like you've gotten there or gotten to that stability, that security that you see others having, you gonna be way up on another level because it took so long to build it, to develop and understand your own consistency. Your consistency is different from others' consistency. It's taking more time to be to actualize your journey being true to you. But you've been on this path the whole time. Keep living. Keep going. Stay focused. All progress depends on you. Peace. I will heal. We will heal together. Let's get it.